What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV, man. Appreciate y'all checking in with me, man. We got a nice hot topic, man. Y'all come on into the platform, man. We're gonna be talking about the man himself, Luka Doncic. I'm still not a believer. He must prove himself in the playoffs, and we're gonna get into everything. There's a lot of politics in the game. It was a gentleman who got in my comment section today. His name was, I believe, Jolie. I don't know what the hell his name is, but shout out to him. Um, he was very emotional, um, and I'm here to kind of answer him a little bit, um, but also bring awareness to the people. Um, so y'all can come to the altar later, or y'all can come now and pay homage here at Flex Sports TV. Um, Number one, before we get into it, I need everybody to hit that like button and most definitely hit that subscribe button, especially if you're new. Shout out to my man Low Key T. What's the deal, bro? Shout out to the homies. Um, Definitely hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. It's Flight Sports. Um, all the people that's rocking with the channel, you want to take your support to the next level, you could donate to the platform. The link will be in the description box, and it'll also be in this live chat as well for the people that's just coming in. You know, mess with the channel. I like what's going on. I appreciate it, all of y'all. Like I said, I can't do this without the people. Hope everybody having a good weekend out there. I'm just gonna bring a little content to the people. Um, Number one, let's get right back into the goddamn topic. Okay, so there's a lot going on. You know, the Dallas Mavericks, they did end the All Star break with a little semi high note over the Sacramento Kings. I believe everybody has hit a high note against the Sacramento Kings. I believe Lonzo Ball dropped a couple of buckets, shitting on De'Aaron Fox. Come on, the team is a mess. I'm just being quite frank here. So people have been very happy. I heard Luka can't close game. You heard, you ain't hear it. That's a fact. Pay homage at Flight Sports. We're gonna get into all that. I was just you accelerating the process. I appreciate you though. It's Flight Sports. You feel me? Number one, like I said, everybody's hit the high note against the Kings. This guy, Fluke Walton, this guy, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing behind the helm. You got Vladi Divac. That's a whole nother situation, you know, with the Kings. But listen, the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic still must prove themselves in the playoffs, okay? The regular season is all nice and all good, but it means absolutely nothing if it doesn't go down in the playoffs, okay? Now, Luka Doncic has been tearing things up, you know, doing a lot, you know, but people got to definitely evaluate these guys because the jury is still out on them. You feel me? The jury is out on the Dallas Mavericks. You know, number one, Luka Doncic can't close games. He doesn't make free throws in big moments. Bottom line is this: Luka Doncic is doing what he's been doing all year long. Luka Doncic beats up and stat pads against bad teams. He waited strategically to come back against the Sacramento Kings because he knew he could beat them down. You know, because everybody can beat them down. But Luka Doncic is a good player. I'm not. Let's be real. I'm not here to say he's garbage because he's not. Okay, but he's just not. When you talk, and he's being compared to this one, to that one. It's like, come on, cut the shit. They overhype him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you want to go there, you know, I'm trying to just keep it during the game. But I tell you what about that. The NBA is a lot of politics in the game, baby. Listen, the NBA got that narrative too. You know, the basketball without borders, the international flair. You know, so the NBA is doing what they, you know, but they they know what they're doing with this guy Luka Doncic. They've been propping him up all season long. The flopping, all the calls that this guy's been getting, just is a mess. This is like James Harden 2.1. You understand? Damn near James, a lesser version of James Harden. Pardon me. because he ain't even on James Harden level. You feel me? Luka Doncic is gonna it come playoff time. Those calls are not gonna be there. The game is gonna be a lot more physical, and we already have seen what Luka Doncic has done when the game is physical. We've already seen that. We saw that story. It was a sad story. Luka Doncic has been frauding all season long. I've been bringing awareness to the people. Now, the Dallas Mavericks has a easy schedule coming up. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's not as difficult as other seasons. Other seasons I would say they had it bad. You know, but I mean, like this is an easy stretch for the Dallas Mavericks. They're gonna beat up on these teams. I'm a firm believer of that. They got I think they got the Hawks coming up. They got a couple of bad teams. Rolling down the stretch. We're gonna get into their schedule in a moment. But the Dallas Mavericks got to get their shit together, man. It's still the jury is still out. Can Chris Snacks and Luka Doncic play together? That's still a question. I understand they dropped a bunch of buckets recently, but that's not sustainable. I know that that was against the Sacramento Kings. I'm not counting that. That's fraudulent. Against the Sacramento Kings. We're gonna get into their schedule because they got like I said, this schedule is not it's not hard, but it's like they got a kind of even keel schedule. They got the Minnesota Timberwolves starting up from the no, pardon me. They got the Orlando Magic. Now Orlando has been kind of tough this year. And it's in Orlando. I don't know. Flip a coin on that one. Maybe a Luka stat pad. You got him up in Atlanta with Trae Young. I'm gonna say Trae Young and the Hawks beat him that game. Clint Capella, Atlanta. Maybe if it was in Dallas, I might give it to Dallas. Okay. Then they got Minnesota. Now, and that's in Dallas. I don't know how that game might go, but Karl Anthony Towns is in the building, number one overall pick. Hopefully D'Angelo Russell, he done got his swagger together, and let's see what happens. Then they got the Spurs. I'm just gonna give a couple of games. The Spurs in San Antonio. I'm gonna give that an L. San Antonio's still fighting for a playoff spot. Next, they got the Miami Heat in Miami. I'm gonna give that a double loss. I'll be shocked if they beat Miami in Miami. And then they rolling back with the Timberwolves, and then they got Chicago, and then guess what? In less than a month, you got the game that I'm looking forward to see, March 4th. The Pelicans versus the Mavericks. I'm looking forward to that matchup. Hopefully, it has some playoff ramifications. It's Flight Sports TV. The Pelicans got to get their swagger together too. I'm not sure. I'm gonna double check the standings. But keep it on Luka for a second. Luka Doncic. The Mavs, they lost power. Yeah, and then they got Willie Cauley-Stein in there thinking that he gonna slide, but it ain't gonna happen. But listen, fragile. The bottom line is this: somebody's gonna get hurt before the start of the playoffs. Listen, this All-Star break is beneficial, but the way the Rick Carlisle was coaching, these guys are just coming back from injury. Come playoff time, I'm interested to see the matchup that they would get. I don't know. Maybe they can improve their playoff position, and I don't know. But let's see what happens. But nonetheless, Luka Doncic is not no Larry Bird. Luka Doncic is not no Michael Jordan. Luka Doncic is not no LeBron James. Okay. Luka Doncic is not no Oscar Robertson. You understand? Luka Doncic must prove himself. All of those players have proven themselves in the playoffs. Okay. And everybody had to prove themselves before they got to that upper echelon or got to that status. LeBron James had to do things in the playoffs before he got to that status. Kevin Durant, he had to do things in the playoffs to get to that status. Same goes for everybody. Kyrie, all of these guys. Luka Doncic must prove himself as well. What the hell is the difference between everybody else and him? You cannot compare him to the great legends of yesterday, and he ain't doing nothing today. He's putting up marvelous numbers, but listen, the playoffs is another animal, okay? Y'all know it. The refs are gonna hold the whistle on a lot of plays. Those little flops. You see what happened with James Harden. That's what makes him struggle a lot come the postseason because he's so used to getting these chippy calls, and in the playoffs those chippy calls aren't there, so it's hard for him to function. And I'm expecting the same thing to happen to Luka Doncic come postseason. Let's see what happens. And if he does big things in the playoffs, I'll be here to pay homage and I'll be a believer. But the Dallas Mavericks will be doing absolutely nothing in the Western Conference. Okay. Kristaps Porzingis will be hurt soon. Okay. Book it. I don't even know why they gave him all that money. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. That's another topic for another discussion because the jury's out on Porzingis as well. Luka Doncic has been very fragile, injury prone, always in and out the lineup for this, that. You understand? The defense is horrendous for Luka Doncic. The free throw shooting is a very underrated aspect of his game that's very garbage. Luka Doncic at the free throw line is 50-50 at best, especially in the clutch. We see what he do in the clutch. So Luka Doncic, he ain't ready for the big boys yet. Okay? It's gonna take some time. Okay? I know y'all ready to crown him, but he's not gonna be crowned yet. Okay? Luka Doncic must prove himself. Everybody has proven themselves. It doesn't make him any difference. Rick Carlisle hasn't won a damn thing since Dirk Nowitzki. So when we gonna start looking at him? I don't like the pieces around these guys. Like I said, this team, I'm not a firm believer in this team because I just believe in the playoffs. Somebody's going to shut Luka Doncic down, and then that's going to just and Porzingis is going to get beaten the hell up, and it's just going to be a trickling down effect to the rest of the softies on the squad, like a Seth Curry, a Brunson, who the hell else? There's so many softies. Vinny Smith. Willie Cauley Stein is in and out. You don't know what the hell you're gonna get from him. It's unbelievable. This team is a mess, and it's not as good as you think it is. Maybe I see the future, but nonetheless, Luka Doncic has had a great season, and he's been playing. He's a pretty good player in this league. But it's just when you start putting them in the top fives, the top tens, it's still about 15 plus names better than Luka Doncic. Still. And I'm being light. I didn't even touch on Luka Doncic like that. Pause. It's been like a week since I even had a Luka video, but dudes was, coming to my comment sections harassing me, taking shots, So I just wanted to bring a little bit more awareness to the people. Okay, it's Flight Sports TV, man. Let's see what happens in the playoffs. Let's see if y'all ready to poke your chests out. I'm predicting a 4-game sweep in the playoffs, and their best bet is to try to improve their playoff position, but I don't think that's gonna work. I'm just gonna we're gonna take a look at the standings real quick. The Dallas Mavericks is in 7th place, okay, and they're tied with the Thunder, so that they can go back and forth. Mind you, they are 22 games in the loss column. The Grizzlies are 26. So if the Dallas Mavericks don't play their cards right, they might mess around getting the 8th seed or maybe out the playoffs. It could happen. Just saying. And then, the Grizzlies look like they supplanting themselves because they got 26 and everybody else is at 31 losses in the loss column. You look at New Orleans is at 32 losses. Portland is at 31 in the 9th place. So it's wide open in the playoffs, as crazy as that sounds. Somebody can get in there if they everybody's kind of in it, if you want to say so. Even to the Kings and the Suns. The Timberwolves and the Warriors are completely out. We're gonna leave it at that. I was just being very light. Shout out to my man Low Key T in the building, man. He's spitting some knowledge to the people, man. Hit that like button if you agree on what I'm saying, man. I know it's gonna be some dislikes, but it is what it is. I'm just bringing awareness to the people. The playoffs will be right around the corner. The sweep will be right around the corner. Get the broom, get the dustpan, and crack that garbage can because that's where the Dallas Mavericks are going very quickly in a week. They'll be out in a week. They probably won't even get to 5 games. And if they stick around in that 7th seed, you got the Clippers right on their heels. You know the Clippers either gonna be first or second. Even Denver might be gonna beat their ass because Denver got the defense. The Dallas Mavericks is in a world of trouble come playoffs. Okay, a world of trouble. And Oklahoma City is they're ahead of them, and Oklahoma City's been balling. I like OKC. It's Flight Sports TV. I'm not a believer in the Dallas Mavericks. We're gonna leave it at that. Subscribe to the platform if you're new around here. I appreciate all my subscribers. Shout out to the members. It's Flight Sports. Donate to the platform. The link will be in the description box below this video. Shout out to all the guys that have donated. I appreciate you. It's Flight Sports. We'll be back.